Hi and welcome. I'm Lisa. Thanks for joining me for another card making tutorial. Today I'm sharing a quick and simple Merry Christmas card I created using a simple masking technique. This is the new Fill a Holiday Truck stamp set. It just released yesterday in the Whimsy Stamps online shop. It's super cute. And as I mentioned earlier, I have a quick and simple card to share with you. I also have a few samples I created using this stamp set that I'm sharing at the end of the video, so stick around for those. Now, off screen, I stamped the images and ran them through my scan and cut just to move us along. For the card I'm making in this video, I'll be using the truck and the wreath from the stamp set, along with a couple of other products from Whimsy. Let's have a look at one of those products right now. The micro pattern stamp set. Now, I love this stamp set because it's so versatile. I've used it to add designs to bold sentiments, for backgrounds, and today I'm using it to add pattern to my truck. Don't worry, you can use any background stamp you have. I just like that these are small patterns and they fit that truck perfectly. So to get started, I'm stamping the truck onto a piece of masking paper. I'm using Avery removable labels, but you can use any masking paper you have. Also, a large Post-it works in a pinch. So once I have it stamped, I'm going to start fussy cutting this out. And notice that while I'm cutting the bumper out, I'm keeping the tail lights intact with the bumper. I'll be masking off the tires, bumper, and tail lights with this piece, and it's much easier to keep it as a whole rather than working with small pieces. Next, I'm going to cut the body of the truck out, leaving those side mirrors. I want to mask them off, and again, it's just easier to work with a larger piece of masking paper rather than tiny pieces. Then lastly, I'm going to cut the window out because we'll need to mask that off. Once you have your pieces cut out, we're ready to go ahead and mask the truck. And remember, the bumper, tires, tail lights, side mirrors, and the window are going to be masked. So make sure those areas are completely masked off before moving on to the stamping. And side note, the masking paper holds the image in place, which in my book is a bonus. I'm going to line the plaid stamp up over the image and then lift it with the lid of the Misty. Now, before I go into stamping the design onto the truck, I'm actually going to come in with my Copic markers N4, N2, and N0 to add a little bit of shadow to areas of the truck. It helps define each area once the pattern has been stamped. Of course, you can skip this step. It's one of those steps that if you do it, great, but if you don't, I doubt seriously the recipient is going to say, nope, take it back. You didn't add shadows to this truck. So if you like the look, go for it. If not, you can totally skip it. So once we have our shadows laid down, I'm going to go ahead and stamp the pattern onto the truck. I'll be using VersaFine ONYX black ink. You could do this in any color you wanted to. Also, the stars from this stamp set would be really cute stamped on the truck for 4th of July. I can't wait to try that. Okay, so now I do recommend that you stamp this at least 2 times and be sure you're using firm pressure around the edges of the masking. Now you're going to notice there's about 1/16 of an inch on each side of the wheel wells where the stamp doesn't hit. No problem. Just use your fine tip black pen to fill those areas in. Just continue the pattern out to the side of that wheel well. It's a small area. It's not even noticeable. So if you don't want to mess with it, you can skip it. So I feel like this is when I need a drum roll revealing this. I think it turns out so cute. I love this plaid truck. So the rest of the coloring is real simple. I use R29 and R20 to color the tail lights, N4, N2, and N0 to color the bumper and tires. And I'm going to use my R29 on the mirrors and then BG10 to actually color the mirror part and the window. We're going to go ahead and color the wreath. So G21 to color the entire wreath, being careful to skip the berries and the bow. G28 around the edges, the inner edge and the outer edge of the wreath, and then G24 to blend it together with the G21. R29 and R59 on the berries and the bow. And once you're done coloring this, you can just go ahead and set it aside. So I'm going to use Whimsy Stamp's Shiplap background stamp along with Catherine Pooler's Twilight ink to stamp an A2 card base. Now, it's at this point that I have a light bright moment. I'm going to grab the Slimline Pines stamp set so I can stamp that fir branch across the top and bottom of the card. I'm using this gorgeous sage ink from Catherine Pooler. I do decide that to add a little fun to this card, I'm going to use an action wobble behind the truck. So here I'm just applying that action wobble to the back of the truck, and then I'll center it on the card base. I use foam adhesives to add the wreath to the back of the truck. I stamp a simple sentiment of Merry Christmas using my VersaFine ONYX black ink onto white cardstock, trim it out with my paper trimmer, and then just add it over the wreath. And that's going to wrap up my simple masking technique to create a quick and simple Christmas card video with you today. Let me know what you think of the card in the comments below. And for more information on the products seen in this video, you can click the links directly below and check them out. You might want to hop over to Instagram and check out the Whimsy Stamps hop they're having over there. You could win a $25 gift certificate if you hop along with us. I appreciate you so much for spending time with me today. Until next time, please take care.